There's a lot to celebrate. It must be the season. Not only are Arsenal top of the league, but we've got numerous winners from last week to shout about. We've got 3 winners who got 9 out of 10 correct in the Pick 10. We've got a second win for Di Waddell. They got 9 out of 9 in last weekend's game and they won £1,000. Then we've got another winner who got 8 out of 10 in Sunday's Pick 10 and they won £3,000. In this weekend's Pick 10, there's £1,000 for the Arsenal versus Wolves game on Saturday and £10,000 for Saturday's Pick 10. All you've got to do is click the link, verify your details, top up your account, make your picks, and away you go. This week against Wolves, Jesus is definitely going to score.
We said that last week, Rob, and we looked like Muppets.
We did look like Muppets, but I'm telling you, come Saturday, Jesus is going to score.
So if you think we're still going to look like Muppets, come and play us.
Hi and welcome along to the Invincible podcast with my man Lee Judges in the building, brought to you today by AFTV PICK10. Don't forget to play your Pick 10s. You know what? Later on, we're going to find out who won last week's Pick 10. I love the game. You know what I mean? We go head to head each week and we decide on the Pick 10. Have you decided yet where I'm going?
I've got three options.
You got three options?
Yeah.
McDonald's, Burger King, and
a
Subway.
little bit more expensive than that, Robbie, like, you know. So, yeah, I've got 3 and we're going next week, I think, like, you know.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
So you're not revealing where it is yet?
No, I'm going to do it. I think we're just
let
it roll, like, you know. I think we're going to do a little bit of filming on it, aren't we? And yeah, I've got 3 options.
It's kind of smuggy as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a nice. We're going to do a lunch because, you know, I'm being nice to you. And I do a lunch special menu, which is a little bit more of a discount, like, you know what I mean? So look, just remember that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that's the kind of guy I am.
This is painful, man. This is painful. But don't forget, you can do your Pick 10. There's a QR code you can scan. Click the link in the description as well to get involved. And sign up to AFTV PICK10 by downloading AFTV Plus. But we'll give you a bit more information on that later on when we're picking our Pick 10s for this week. First of all, let's speak about Wednesday night. A loss. First loss at home. Only the second loss of the, third loss of the season. Because we've had 1 loss in the Europa League, 1 loss in the Premier League, and now a loss in the EFL Cup. What did you make of it, and do you care?
That's a question that's been chucked at me. You know, I do care. You know what I mean? Because it is a trophy, and this is, you know, Cecil done an interview. I think it was on Julian's interview yesterday when he said, like, well, the Carabao Cup or the League Cup is to blood youngsters. You know, and that's the younger generation feel of it, like, you know.
Well, that's what it's always been under Wenger, isn't it?
Yeah, under those days, you know, like, so if you're under 30. Or 30, or maybe, about 30. It may even be 40, you know what I mean? That's how bad it is. Like. But say, you've been brought up on that diet of like, oh, it's about bloody youngsters, it doesn't matter. But for me, I've had some of the most fantastic days in the League Cup, you know, beating Spurs, you know, with the famous David Rocastle going in the last minute of White Hart Lane. Charlie Nicholas's 2 goals against Liverpool. Do you remember that was Liverpool never lost under when Ian Rush had scored and along come Charlie, you know what I mean?
Champagne
Charlie, that was great. Of course, the League Cup double, when we won the FA Cup and the League Cup, Paul Merson with that goal against Sheffield Wednesday and the Morrow incident and all that. Last time we won the League Cup, that was.
Was it?
So last time, 1993, the likes of, you know, Kevin Campbell and Ian Wright were playing up front that day.
Yeah, but you know what? I can see why with this blood youngsters thing, because in those days, it meant a lot more. It was quite a big trophy.
Yeah.
I think, and probably it is because teams play so many weekend sides, right? The tournament doesn't mean as much as it used to be. And I did a fan cam the other night, and, you know, I said in that fan cam that I felt that I don't even think they should have bothered with the tournament this year. And, you know, not everybody agreed, because I was looking at some of the comments for it. Jay Bothroyd big friend of the channel, ex-Arsenal player, of course, and he actually commented and he said, this competition's good for young players to experience real football. Wenger always fielded a young team, and then those players, they're not always playing so much. This is where your squad can get minutes. I agree with that, but also what I think Jay's forgetting is that we've also, for Arsenal in particular, this year, we've got the Europa League as well. And we've been really playing loads of games where, those players get to play. And I just feel that just going back to it, it's a World Cup year, right? We're having to squeeze in so many games. I think something needed to give. One tournament needed to go. And I think it should have been the EFL Cup, because you look at some of the teams that some of the clubs put out the other night. I looked at the team that Liverpool put out. I couldn't even recognise. I think I recognised Carvalho. That was about it. You know what I mean? They literally put out complete reserve team. And there was a lot of teams that done that. And I just felt that, I just look at the tournament and I'm like, I don't know, maybe we're being a bit snobbish because we're top of the league at the moment and our priorities have sort of really changed and we're really hard on trying to get something in winning the league or challenging to get up in that top four. In the League Cup, it's going to get sacrificed. And I think a lot of those top teams do sacrifice it, apart from, say, Man City. And that's only because they've got an unreal squad. So I just look on it and I'm just like, the other night, of course I cared that we lost because I just want to keep the winning vibes going. It would have been an opportunity if we got through to the next round for those young players to play. But some of those young players, they're still going to play in the Europa League. And do you know what? The next round of that, do you know when it is? Immediately after the World Cup, sandwiched between the World Cup finishing on I think the 18th of December, sandwiched between that and then the game that we come back with against West Ham. Yeah, so to me, again, you know what I mean? It's just, we're just squeezing it in. What sort of teams would have been put out that day? Let's just say, for instance, right? Let's just say, for instance, we'd have won last night and we had that game, right? We had that game now. When we come back after the World Cup, sandwich, what sort of team would we put out for that?
So I'm a little bit, I don't know about that, because we could actually use it as a warm-up game for the
exactly what I'm saying. There's my point, though. No, but hold on. Here's my point. A warm-up game.
Yeah, that
it's
is,
a cup competition.
I agree.
It should be treated seriously, shouldn't it?
Yes,
but you're talking about it almost like it's a warm-up friendly.
But it's,
you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Properly,
so once you get tournaments that are starting to get treated like that, you've got to seriously start looking at them and thinking, and I'm not even saying cancel it completely, but I think this year, with the World Cup coming in the middle of the season, I would have binned it.
Yeah, but I think if we'd have binned it, then it would have been.
Well, you got to be in
to bring it back next time. What I say, look, listen, I'm not going to try. I don't want to fall out with Jay. You know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about.
No, big up to Jay, man.
Yeah, but. When we're bloody youngsters, we ain't bloody youngsters though. We bloodied a goalkeeper yesterday, and that was it. All the other players have all played, have played at some sort of stage. So it's not like going back when he was playing, when you'd see 4 or 5 of the young players playing. Probably like Jay. I don't know if Jay got his chance in them or not, but I remember going to a game when Cesc Fabregas was 16 and playing in that. Like, you know what I mean? I don't see any 16-year-olds playing yesterday. Or whenever it was, you know what I mean, in the Europa League or whatever like that. It's one of those things when they're playing, I want to see so for me, you either do it one way or the other, Rob. You either play the youngsters and go that route, like Arsene Wenger did. I actually go. Remember when he played in the cup final against Chelsea? Yeah, he actually went. Chelsea went full strong.
I remember I didn't like that. I went all the way to Wales.
Yeah, all the way.
To see us play pure young, even though they did well, to be fair.
They did very well. Walcott scored, didn't he? Like
2-1,
Walcott scored, yeah. But he was never going to win the game.
Yeah, we're never going to win the game against, they had Drogba out there and all that. You know what I mean?
But playing on Wednesday, what Mikel done was he went with a so-called weakened side, and then he's chucking all the first team players on at the end. So it defeated the object.
Well, that was when we were 3-1 down.
Yeah, but so I just think like if you're going to go with that, go with it. Trust the players and see how it goes. And when for me, when you're 2-1 down or 3-1 down or 2, just say 2-1 down at that side. What is it? Is it better for that youngster to try and get it back, or what was happening yesterday? What was happening was that they was taking those players off and bringing the
first team players on.
So they really ain't get. Oh, I don't think it was doing. What can you do when you're 2-1 down? Can you turn it around? Yeah. That was my feeling about it yesterday.
Yeah, what I'd say, right? What I'd say about that game is, it showed me that we need to strengthen in general.
Oh, 100%.
We need to strengthen. There's
100%.
certain players that, let's be real, these players are they're on the fringes of the first team. They're players that should be called upon if there's injuries to first team players, right? So they're part of the first team squad, right? Sambi Lokonga. Eddie scored a great goal. I don't know if I can be overcritical of Eddie, but because he scored a great goal. But Eddie, Reece Nelson, who else would you say? Cedric. These guys, these are your backup, right? If there's a serious injury to a certain player, if Thomas Partey's out or if Granit Xhaka's out, it's Sambi Lokonga to come in. Is he good enough at this moment in time to make that step up? From what I've seen so far in the Europa League games, I'd say no. He's not shown me that he is good enough to step up. Eddie Nketiah, is he good enough? Well, in a way, he did show us last season, didn't he? Because he came in, he started those games against Chelsea and he did actually do very, very well. So we know that he can come in, but the only thing, my problem with Eddie is that sometimes when you need another option up front, maybe someone a bit who can hold the ball up, a bit more physical, good in the air, we don't have that, right? I've seen in enough of these games now, because those guys have been playing, and that's another reason why I think it was quite a bad loss in a way to Brighton, because even though Brighton made changes and we made changes, I get it, we made 10 changes. But some of those changes, they have played already together in Europa League games. And even in those games, we saw that they're not, So I feel Fabio Vieira's another one as well. He's on the fringe of the first team. So I feel that when it comes to January, I think definitely at least two positions we can see glaringly obvious that they need to be sorted. The midfield position, we need someone better there to come in. And also to help us in our Europa League challenge as well.
100%.
Because remember, we're going to have Thursday, Sunday. So might have to rest the Partey
with more
on a Thursday
games.
night.
With
more intense games, with more on it. They're just like, it's not a league no more. It's a knockout competition. Yeah. So if, I want us to take, I think our priorities should be number one, the Premier League, number two, the Europa League. So I think if we strengthen, the strengthening of the squad should be with that in mind.
Yeah, 100%.
The, Europa League and also, the league. And, a guy was asking me, on Wednesday, who would I get? Give you two names, Robbie, that you could get that you think's available at the moment. And I gave him my two names. Wilfried Zaha of Palace, who's got, come January, is into the last, less than 6 months of his contract. I know he's 29, for everyone jumps on that. Proven goal scorer in the Premier League. Proven terrorizer. Plays in exactly the same way as the other guys in our front line, in that he takes the ball up, dribbles, takes on players. I think he would be perfect, right? And he doesn't play like, he's not playing like a 29-year-old to me. He's playing like a younger player. And the other one is Tielemans. Yeah. Again, contract running out. And if the rumours are true that we've got about 50 million to spend, surely if those guys' contracts are running down, we can get them.
Yeah.
We can get them. We can go out there and say, right, you know what? Yuri Tielemans is going to leave for free in a few months. Actually, he's even agreed that he might even come to us for nothing. But what it is, we'll give you 20 million if he comes right now. Zaha, he's going to be leaving for nothing. We'll give you 30 mil. Or maybe even we give you money plus Reece Nelson or something like that. Well, those two players can help. And later on in the show, I'm going to, we're going to talk about the games coming up after the World Cup, right? And you'll see what I mean. So, to me, it's what's shown me, even in that game against Brighton Brighton made loads of changes as well. Brighton are not used to playing as many games with a changed team as we are, and they still beat us 3-1. In a game where, by the way, we had so many chances in the game.
Yeah, that was another thing, like, I've got to say, that was disappointing. Looking back on it yesterday, I looked at the highlights, you didn't realise that we had enough chances to win
loads
that
of
game.
chances, man.
Again, you know,
loads.
something that we've got to address. You know, we keep missing too many chances. There was, I'm not saying that they were gilt-edged chances, but they were chances.
Enough chances.
Enough chances.
You know, and
Nelson had a good header. There was a few things that didn't.
And they're all straight at the keeper.
Yeah.
And you know, we've got to be more clinical with that. But it is what it is. Listen, the thing that made me like, do you see Spurs' team? They put out they went for it, didn't they?
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, the consolation for us was that we played a not weakened side, but we went. It was a weakened side. And then, you know, you get home that night and you watch it, you're a little bit disappointed, but you accept it. And then love and behold, Spurs come on, like, you know, and in their desperation. To win a trophy, knowing that, like the likes of Arsenal, most of the teams who play that could get knocked out, like i.e. Chelsea, West Ham, Arsenal have gone out. The old trophy-less Tottenham think, oh, this is a chance for us to win a trophy. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll play all the big guns.
Harry Kane.
And they play them. And they lose. Tottenham Hotspur, the gift that just keeps on giving, and it's getting near Christmas. Thank you very much, like, you know. But that is Tottenham Hotspur all over.
Yeah. And they played a strong team, like you said.
So they'd be disappointed more than us.
They're desperate to win a trophy, right? But, you know, honestly, for me personally, it hurts because I just want us to keep winning, and it was a very horrible feeling to lose because we're not used to that this season very much. But if we're going to lose one game, let it be that one. That's what I'd say for this season.
Well, we've lost 2 games now against PSV and Brighton, and I've not been disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I say, disappointed. You are.
There wasn't a lot riding on.
You know, like when we lost to Man United, that hurt. You know. Yeah. So, and actually, I'm going to be really honest and put this in the comments. What hurt more, losing against Brighton and PSV, or drawing against Southampton? Southampton.
Yeah.
So that just shows you where we are at this moment in time. You know, we have to look at it like.
By the way, we've got to talk about Chelsea. You know,
we forgot that. Fancy not forgetting about Chelsea.
Yeah, that was a great win against Chelsea. I thought we went to Stamford Bridge, we dominated the game from start to finish. It was a professional performance. 1-0 to the Arsenal, could have been more.
Again, missed chances.
Yeah, no Chelsea fan could deny that we were the better team and we deserved to win that game. And again, you know, I think
great, isn't it?
Another very professional performance by this Arsenal team.
It was fantastic, and what's great is that none of the Chelsea fans coming out give Arsenal any credit. We're crap. We got this and we got that. But when we was in the studio doing the Starting 11, they want 5-6 of their players in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me tell you now, like, not one of them I would take. Not one Chelsea player I would take. Not one. I thought Thiago Silva played very, very well on the day. But I wouldn't swap him with Saliba or Gabriel to this moment. I wouldn't do that. Ben White, I ain't swapping with no one.
No chance.
He's my second favourite player now behind Martinelli. He's just grown and grown and grown on me. I wouldn't swap him. I wouldn't swap their left back. Like, you know, Shinchenko was not even 100% fit. Brilliant. Chilwell, like, come on, like, so. And then midfield, wouldn't swap any of that in there. Not the front three. Now, that is Chelsea. A couple of years ago, won the Champions League and things like that. Our quick things change in football. But ultimately, that's how far Arsenal have come there, Robbie. You know, that Chelsea, you wouldn't take one player out. And I'm being genuine. I'm not taking the mickey when I say that. I am genuinely saying that. I wouldn't take one of their players.
So going into the game, right, I was confident that Arsenal would win. It's not arrogance. It's just like, I'm like, if the best Arsenal turns up, we're better than them.
Well, yeah.
At this moment in time, we are a better team than Chelsea. So if we turn up to a game and they turn up, they do their best and we do our best, we're supposed to win.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what gave me confidence going into that game. But I was kind of shocked at how easy, that was the most one-sided 1-0 you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was kind of shocked by it because they were just running around Chelsea. They couldn't get the ball. They couldn't do anything with the ball when they had it because we defended so well.
100%. We defended really well. We stopped them playing. We took them down positions where we wanted to take them down and picked them off. Brilliant. And we played really, really well. Offensively, I think if we'd have been a little bit more clinical in our final third, we could have gone, 1-3 or 4. And what was great about it, being there, I don't know what it was like for you guys in here, but I never felt like we was going to lose a game, even when we went, when you're holding on like
I felt comfortable.
More worried at Leeds
and
the
next
game.
Way more worried at Leeds. And even the last 10 minutes at Southampton, I was more worried.
Yeah,
right. Honestly, it was comfortable.
It was a comfortable win. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but it was.
It was a comfortable win, and brilliant by Arsenal. You know what I mean? It's top of the league still. You know what I mean? Real tricky game. What I liked about Arsenal was the response. You know what I mean? To Man City. Nicking that result the day before when they were down to 10 men, the De Bruyne penalty, right? And I was like, great response, because for 24 hours, we weren't top of the league.
Yeah.
And this is what, if we are to be in a title race, these are the sort of things we're going to face, that City might go somewhere on a Saturday, get a result, and it might be back to you, Arsenal. How are you going to respond? I love the fact that we's like, all right, we're going away to Chelsea. Here's our response. Bush.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So,
and we're going to have to get used to that, because the nine probably most of the time City are going to play before us.
Exactly. And that's how you to win the league, that's what you have to do. We've seen it with Liverpool over the years, man. The tussles, the back and forth with them and Man City. City are just such a machine. So I loved it about that with Arsenal. I do think just strengthen in January, man. And this team has got a chance to push City all the way. We are definitely title contenders. I did the overlap show on Monday. I hosted that with Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. And I was asking them if we're title contenders. Both of them didn't. I think Jamie Carragher said we're contenders, but both of them thought that we'll end up losing it pretty easily. I think Gary Neville said that he thinks that City will still finish 10 to 15 points above us. Now, I want to shut these men up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so strengthen in January. I know why they're saying that, because obviously a lot of people in the past, right, over the past few years, they've seen Arsenal fall apart. But so far, this season, every test that's been put to us, we've done. And that was another big one last week.
And that's listen, I agree. At this moment in time, I've seen a lot of people online going, oh, Gary Neville hates Arsenal and all that. He don't. He's actually
he actually said he'd like to see us. He'd rather us win it than City.
Yeah, and he's talking sense really at the end of the day, because at this moment in time, I agree. I don't want to. If, for instance, and this is how I look at it at this moment in time with Arsenal, if Zinchenko gets injured, we're not bothered, are we? Because we know we've got Tierney to come in, or we've got Tomiyasu to come in. Even on the right-hand side, right back position, we got that, But that midfield area, if one of them goes down, we're panicking. Like
and if some of the
I don't want to see Thomas. I'm glad I didn't see Thomas Partey yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm glad that that's from a selfish point of view. There's people that are going for their first games yesterday of the season, and they want to see the big guys, the big guns playing, but they can't. You know what I mean? I don't want to see Jesus playing why don't I want to see him? Because I don't want him to get injured. But my mentality is, it's got to be Zinchenko's not playing. Well, Tierney's going. Jesus is not playing. Someone else is going. Partey's not playing. We haven't got that yet. Manchester City have got that in abundance, and that is why that you ain't going to go through this whole season with all that 11 playing every week. If they did, I think we'd be guaranteed top 4.
Especially with the amount of games. You know what I mean? Remember, in January the FA Cup comes back. In February the Europa League comes back. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I'm not fussed about the EFL Cup, because that would have been going on till the end of February as well. That would have given us a load more games to play. But we've got to strengthen that squad. And honestly, with 2 quality... I mean, Mudryk, I've heard mentioned from Shakhtar Donetsk. That would be another good signing if we could get that over the line. But we've got to... Mikel Arteta himself said, when he was asked about it after the game, about the squad, he said, listen, we're short. He
did say that.
He said it. So he's saying it. I hope that when January comes, it's addressed. I don't want to see another season under the great Arsene Wenger. Sometimes the only thing that used to get me frustrated with him is that we could in opportunities in January to strengthen, to really give us that big push, and he didn't do it sometimes. I want to see us do it this year. Honestly, we're knocking on the door. We are contenders. We are contenders. That's my feeling.
That's it. And you make a great point there about Man City. Are Man City worried about playing extra games in January?
No, look at the team they put out last night.
They're not, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the difference between them and us. We are. We've had to. If I'll be honest, we've had to sacrifice that trophy.
We have
to keep. To be
honest, we have.
They haven't, because they know they've got a squad enough to be able to cope with that.
Who's the team that normally wins this trophy nearly every year? They do. Because of their squad depth, right? If you look at let me just take a look at that, right? Last night when they played against
Chelsea. No mugs, by the way.
Yeah, they did make some changes, but this was their team. Ortega in goal. Right, they've changed the keeper. A player called Lewis, who's a new, one of their young players. Yeah. Ruben Diaz, Laporte, and Gomez. Right, the Gomez is the left back that they signed in the summer. A player we were looking at one time, right?
50 million pounds central defenders there as well.
Rodri and Gundogan in the midfield. Mm. Up front, Mahrez, Palmer, who's one of the young players coming through. Grealish, £100 million player, and Alvarez up front.
Yeah,
that was their team that they started with, right, in that game, right. And then their bench was Phillips, Stones, Ake, Haaland, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Akanji, Edison, and Foden. Right? That's the strength of their team. So if we're going to compete with them and push them all the way till the end of the season, we have to bring in a couple of players in January to strengthen the squad. We really do. This is a great opportunity for Arsenal. We cannot afford it. And Mikel Arteta is saying it himself. So they've got to back him in January.
And you just think, just making that Phillips, right? It hasn't played
Calvin Phillips won England international.
A minute for Manchester City. He can't even get in their League Cup team.
Do you know, Lee, this is another thing.
Is unreal.
Another thing that's annoying me, right, with fans. Again, last night we was having a little chat about it. We had some great little debates off camera last night. This thing annoys me when so I suggested Zaha, right? Whether I'm not sure we'd get Zaha, maybe Mudryk, but I suggested Zaha. People are saying to me, "Yeah, Robbie, but he ain't gonna want to come and be on the bench. And if he plays, how's that gonna? Martinelli will be upset with that." And I'm like, yo. This is a big club.
Yeah.
You've got to earn your place, right? So if you come to a big club and you're on the bench for a game, you're on the bench for a game. Yeah, I mean, look at, like you just said, Calvin Phillips. That guy started every week at Leeds.
A World Cup coming.
World Cup's coming up. Starts for England. He barely played. Grealish, £100 million signing for Man City. Last season, he was in and out of the team. Even this year, he don't start every week.
He's not guaranteed.
Foden don't start every week.
They're not guaranteed,
Bernardo Silva don't start every week. They've only got a couple of players, actually, in that City team that are like nailed on starters every week. And that's like, you say, De Bruyne, Haaland,
goalkeeper,
the goalkeeper. Even Diaz is not been. Ruben Diaz, right? You know what I mean?
They have 4 or 5.
He doesn't start every single week. So if you're coming to a team like Arsenal and it's going to be a big, big club, we got to get this out of our head about, I had to ask one fan last night, I go, what do you want to do? Do you want to win, or are you a social worker?
Yeah.
Because you're concerned about the welfare of Martinelli, because if we got Zaha, what does that do to Martinelli? That pushes him. That pushes him. That says, and you bring in a player that basically, why I was saying Zaha, because I think that pushes everyone across that line. Because Zaha could in fact play in all 3 of those positions. Or you can, bringing in someone like Zaha means you can shuffle that front 3 around. Because you could in effect, say for instance Saka got injured, right? You could push Jesus out to the right, push Martinelli down the middle, right? And play Zaha. If Martinelli is not playing right, you can play Zaha. You could possibly play Zaha down the middle. It gives us options, goal-scoring options.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm saying to this fan last night, I go, what are you, a social worker? I don't want to, you know what I mean? This is Arsenal Football Club. You're going to be pushed. If you're playing for a team like this, you should be, look at if you're playing for Real Madrid and all those teams.
This is the mentality. This is what's happened with Arsenal. Going back like years ago, you know, I remember we bought Antonio Reyes, like, you know, 2003 in January 2004, like, you know, season. No one was turning around and saying, "Oh, what's going to happen with Perez or Lundberg and all that? Get him in," you know what I mean? Like, we would have him, and he could play in 3 or 4 different positions. Wiltord was another one that came to the club. No one was worried. Well, don't sign Wiltord because Thierry Henry's at the club. You know what I mean? We brought these players in and never worried about it. I don't know why we're worrying about it at the moment. Get him in.
What's going to happen to? How's he going to feel about that? You know. How's he going to feel?
It's going to make him play better. That's what he's going to do.
That's what he's supposed to do. Push him. And plus as well, there's a lot of games. So, you know, I want us to get rid of that mentality.
Yeah, I'm with you.
By the way, let's just take a look at the Pick 10 for this weekend because, of course, AFTV Pick 10. Listen, by the way, congratulations to some of the people who won.
I don't know how they do it.
The Waddell guy, £1,000 he won. 9 out of 9.
That's my next.
Correct.
That's my next goal. That is to start competing with these guys because you're not much of competition. It's these guys I've got to take on. Like, you know what I mean? I've got to take these guys on.
There's 3 people who won £2,000 each.
Unreal.
£2,000 each for getting 9 out of 10 correct in last week.
9 out of 10. Like, do you know how many you got? Like, go on, tell them how many you got.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
What'd you get?
5 out of 10. Making me the winner this week. Go 1-0 up again, like, you know. But I want to get up there with these 8 and 9s and 10s.
I don't know how they're doing it, man. So my Pick 10. By the way, all you got to do is download AFTV Plus, download and play AFTV Pick 10. It's a lot of fun. Right?
What I need to know is maybe one of these guys can come on here and tell us what they're doing. What is their
formula?
Yeah, what is their strategy?
Man.
Because
what is their strategy?
Am I looking at it like, well, I want. Like, you know, I put Tottenham and Leeds down. I've put it down as a draw, you know, because that's what I want, or a Leeds.
Oh yeah, Tottenham and Leeds. I'd gone for a draw, Tottenham and Leeds as well.
Is that because we're not we're too attached to it? I want to know these why.
We are too attached. to it.
Maybe we're too attached to it. Like,
but I actually fancy that could be a draw. No Son. I think Finn got injured as well. Højbjerg. I think that could be a draw. Wolves Arsenal? I've gone Arsenal.
I've gone Arsenal. Yeah.
City Brentford. I've gone City.
City, yeah.
Bournemouth Everton. Who do you go for?
I went for a draw.
I've gone for Bournemouth win. Liverpool Southampton.
Liverpool.
Nottingham Forest versus Palace.
I've gone for a draw.
I've gone for a draw. West Ham Leicester.
West Ham are under a bit of pressure. Do
you
know what? I'm coming home last night on the radio, and the fans, fans are turning on Moyes, which is incredible after what job he's
not
done
having a
last
great
season.
They're right down at the bottom.
Yeah, they're struggling and all that, but I think that they're at home. I've gone for a
draw. I was impressed with Leicester last week, man. They went away to Everton, and they were very impressive, man.
Yeah,
got Maddison playing well, Tielemans playing well. Newcastle Chelsea.
4-0 Chelsea. I haven't won for 4 games now, like, you know what I mean? So make that 5.
I don't think they'll beat Newcastle. Newcastle at home they are a good team. And then now, of course, we've got the game day special Wolves versus Arsenal, right? Gabriel to score at any time. What are you going for? This has been throwing us every week because we keep backing him.
When we actually said
he's made us look like Muppets.
He's made a Muppet side. We're like those 2 ones, you know, on the balcony, aren't we? Like, keep moaning, like, you know. But listen, we keep saying we've both said this off air before we come on here. Like, have you gone for him? We've gone, yeah, because I know if I don't put him in, he's going to. So I don't know, like, you know, I'm going to go with him until he bloody well.
I've gone for him. I think this is the week.
He's got to score sooner or later.
He's got, man. He's got to score. He's got to get a chance in that game against Wolves. Massive game. Wolves at the moment in a bit of a pickle.
They won last.
Yeah, they did. They won in the
last game against
EFL Cup.
They beat Leeds, didn't they? Is it Leeds they beat?
No, they didn't. They didn't win their last game
in the cup. I thought this week they played in the cup.
Oh yeah, no, they won in the cup. They beat Leeds.
Was it Leeds?
They beat Leeds at home.
I know my stuff.
Yeah, they beat Leeds at home 1-0. But I'm on about the Premier League.
Oh, no.
Now, in the Premier League, right, they are struggling at the moment. Wolves are second from bottom. As a matter of fact, joint bottom of the league. They've only got 10 points. They've lost 8 games, Wolves. Right? I mean, it's just really surprising when you look at Wolves, when you look at the players they've got, like your Ruben Neves and people like that. They've got excellent players, Traore, all these guys, but they're second from bottom. They can't defend at the moment. That's what's been their big problem. And they don't score goals. And I think even Costa's suspended that head, but he did. He's out. They're not scoring goals.
You know, I'd be very, very interesting to know the stats from last season onwards, because do you remember we went there last season? It was I think Martinelli got sent off. We hung on for a 1-0 win, but they were flying at that time, and so were we. Or we wasn't. We needed that win. We got that win. I think they was up there challenging for the top 4 as well, believe it or not. But since that result, they have had a landslide.
And they spent a lot of money, bought in some good players in the summer, but it hasn't worked out for them. As I said, 10 points, joint bottom of the league with Nottingham Forest. This is a big opportunity for Arsenal to win that game and finish top of the league going into the World Cup.
Bloody hell, I'm just having a look at that. Bournemouth have dropped right down.
Bournemouth have dropped right down. Yeah, they've been losing a lot of games.
So, you know, that's a show. If you lose a couple of games in this, I remember playing Leeds. Was it 3 weeks ago then? And I think I was in the bottom 3 at that stage, and they've won a few games.
12
since.
now.
12, you know.
Yeah,
so this just shows you, like what we've got to do is they've got to be lacking a little bit of confidence, and they
must be. We've got to get. It's one of those games, right? What we've got to do, what we've been doing all season, which is start fast. Start fast on the front foot, get an early goal, really go at them, and then the nerves will kick in with them.
Yeah. Normally, the manager's not allowed to take. I don't think he's taken over yet. The World Cup, innit, or something.
The thing is about it, right, with Wolves is, that ground. It's one of those great atmospheres. Great atmospheres, right? But it's one of those grounds, right, that in the past few years that we've gone there, they've been confident, haven't they? They've been up for it. But there's been a lot of moans and groans around it this year. And honestly, if we can go there and start fast. I mean, we won there last year.
Yeah, listen,
it's always a tough game.
It's a tough place to go, and they're very clever how they dilute the away fans.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And they do it by spreading them all along the line, in a thin row of about 10, is it?
Yeah.
So you can never get the atmosphere. It's a real clever thing that they do.
Yeah. Because you got someone who's singing, they're like right down the other end. They're right down the other end by that goal. And then someone's right at the other end. So you got about 3-4 different sort of songs breaking out.
And it's
someone here singing a Saliba song. Next here is singing a Zinchenko song. Right down at the bottom, they're singing,
So they dilute it right down. It's very clever how they do it, which makes it a tough, not the most enjoyable away game, if I'll be honest.
For the away fans.
For the away fans.
Then they've got both stands behind the goal. And they make a load of noise.
So they're very, very clever, like, you know what I mean?
But we won there last year, and as I said, their confidence is low, and this is an opportunity for Arsenal to go there and, extend out their lead.
Well, listen, for us,
top of the table.
If we win this, we go into the World Cup top of the tree. And you'd have bit your hand off for that, come on, at the beginning of the season. If someone would have said to you, right, going into the World Cup, Arsenal will be top of the league by 2 points.
Yeah.
There's my arm, chop it off, like, you know what I mean? Like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
You'd have actually said, like, I think at the beginning of the season, let's be honest, you'd have said if we was in the top 4, you'd be happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
But now, so whatever happens to go second.
Some of their last games, Wolves, they last game in the Premier League, lost at home to Brighton, 3-2.
Brighton are a good side.
Brighton are a very good side, but they lost at home to Brighton. And looking at some of their other results, previous to that, drew with Brentford 1-1 away, got beaten 4-0. I remember watching that game, 4-0. They lost at home to Leicester. Right? Lost to Palace. They beat Nottingham Forest at home. That was their last home victory, and they did beat Chelsea. No, sorry, they lost to Chelsea away, lost to West Ham away. They've been really poor this season. They've been really poor. It's been surprisingly poor by Wolves. And they lost to City at home. they've not been great. They've not been great. This is a great opportunity for Arsenal.
Well, look, come on. If you've got any aspirations of winning the league or challenging for the league, when you take the teams on in the bottom three, you've got to come away with 3 points. Simple as that. Yeah. There's no excuses. I mean, we actually didn't do it against Southampton, but I will say there was excuses there. The referee that day, but but we, even though we missed chances that day, and we allowed them to for the referee to make those decisions, we've got to be ruthless. We have got to start. It's not a concern at this moment in time, but the last couple of games, we've missed chances. We have to be a little bit, in that game against Chelsea, we played really well, but we was poor in the final third at times. Yeah. Be ruthless. Again, against Brighton, we had our opportunities. We must be ruthless.
100%.
In this game. Just go there. But I know it ain't going to happen, but it would be nice to be 2-3-0 up at half time, and then the job's done. But like what good teams go and do, and that's what I still haven't quite seen that killer instinct from us yet to say. Do you know?
I think we were against Nottingham Forest. That was a ruthless performance. The 5-0.
Probably Brentford as well. I still say Brentford was our best performance.
Yeah, we were ruthless in that day as well. If we win that game, we're on 37 points.
That's incredible,
right?
3 points away from making sure we're in the Premier League next year. Unbelievable.
As it stands, we're 8 points above Spurs in 4th place. I mean, with a game in hand. We're 13 points above Chelsea in 7th, right? We're 15 points above Liverpool in 8th. So, we're flying 11 points above Manchester United in 5th. This is a great opportunity to have. That's why I'm saying I just want to see a strengthening in January. When I look at... Sorry, I was going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you was given some money now to just say what would be your top 4 at this moment in time, what would you go
You know what? I did this on another show the other day. I said, in no particular order...
Yeah, no particular order.
In no particular order. Obviously, Arsenal and Man City are in that top 4, right? Because they're far ahead. Manchester United, I think, will get in that top 4. And then I kind of think it's between Spurs and Newcastle. I think if Spurs get all their players back, but Newcastle, and Newcastle haven't got no
it's going to be tough,
or Champions League, and Newcastle are a good side, man. I said it from last year. So
I think that they're going to strengthen in January as well. I'm saying Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle. And I
think Man United will get in it.
Yeah, I've got a feeling.
I do think Man United will get in it. I think Chelsea and Liverpool might miss out, which would be crazy. But this is the strength of the Premier League. You know what I mean? And just taking a look, Lee. These are I'm looking at fixtures.
Ooh, I had a look at these yesterday.
Let's take a look at this, right? So obviously we've got the Wolves game this weekend, right? But when we come back after the break now. Again, there's opportunities here for Arsenal. West Ham at home. West Ham are poor at the moment, right? So it's a chance to win that game. Brighton away, we already know Brighton are a good side.
Yeah.
By the way, Brighton, as we're talking about the league table, Brighton are in 6th place as well on 21 points, just 2 points behind United. And they've been excellent this season, Brighton. They've only lost 4 games. You know what I mean? Won 6 games. They're a good side.
Change of manager as well.
Change of manager. Still kept a really attacking style. Very good side, Brighton. Very good side. But Brighton away, that'll be a tough game. Not insurmountable, but a tough game. Newcastle at home will be tough, but you fancy us at home. Tottenham away is always tough, but can we go there and pass another one of those big tests?
Be lovely if we could.
Man United at home, we owed them one. We were a tough game, but at home, we beat them at home last season. Everton away, where we went and lost last season. Remember that?
Yeah.
We owed them one as well. Then, this is February. Everton away, Brentford at home, Villa away, Leicester away, and then Bournemouth at home.
Well, listen, if we can get through that January, if we actually get through that January and we're still top by then, then I'm getting nervous.
March, right? March, Bournemouth at home, Fulham away, Palace at home, Leeds at home. April. Leeds at home, Liverpool away, West Ham away, Southampton at home, Manchester City away. That's
on
April.
Wednesday, isn't it?
And Chelsea at home. That's quite a difficult month. Then May, Newcastle away, so a bit like last year.
Yeah.
Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Nottingham Forest away, Wolves at home last game. Now, and I think there's got to be a rearranged Man City game in there somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't there got to be a rearranged Everton game as well, isn't it?
Like
Rearranged Everton at home. Strengthen. It's going to be hard to run in. There's a lot of hard games there, but this team is good, man.
Yeah.
This team is good. They're capable of results at any of them. You know what the big test is? The big test for me is going to be
January. Newcastle, Tottenham and Man United.
But I really look at that Tottenham game and I think
FA Cup in between them.
If we could go to Tottenham and win on the 14th of January, that for me would be a real... And that would set us up nicely for the game the week after against Man United. Those two games, I look at those two games and I think they could define how Arsenal...
Two fiercest rivals.
Two fiercest rivals. That could define where we end up this season. Two huge games in January, right? That is why I am saying we've got to strengthen.
Yeah. What date is
got
that? 14th?
So 14th and the 21st.
So I'd like to see a couple of players by then, not after that.
No, but early January. I think Arsenal should be working. I mean, there's been these rumours about Mudryk from Shakhtar Donetsk. I think Arsenal will be working on these signings now.
Yeah, well, hopefully they are.
Right now, because, again, we don't know what players are going to come back like after the World Cup as well.
No, yeah, exactly.
That's the other thing.
This World Cup, we just don't know what's going to happen, do we? We
don't know what's going to happen. No. What I would say is everybody's in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
as a matter of fact, we probably, City have probably got more players at the World Cup than us, although they have got Haaland sitting back with his feet up throughout there. But... how a player's... Because I think the World Cup can do two things to a player. The World Cup, you can come back, you can be absolutely knackered, whacked, mentally drained, just not, needing a rest, not really up for football right immediately, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Will Christmas be a factor? That, you want to spend time with your family, now you're straight back into games, all that, you know what I mean? So there's that. But also... on the positive side, the World Cup can be the making of a player as well. Let's just say, give an example of like a Martinelli. We all know he's good, right? I don't know, he probably won't get much game time for Brazil, but we all know he's good. Let's just say he does get a bit of game time and he actually goes and rips it.
Yeah.
He could come back transformed into, all of a sudden, a world-class player that the whole world's talking about. And all of a sudden, that lifts his game another level again.
Yeah.
He's just like, yo, you know what? Now I'm on a level. I've lifted my level in this tournament. Now give me the ball, man. I'm going to make it. Or Jesus as well. They could come back transformed by it. So it's one of two things. Ben White could go to this tournament, right? If he's selected, he could come back transformed.
Yeah. He could be like a regular in the starting lineup.
Or, like you said, they can come back mentally drained, they will lose the tournament,
lose the semi-final or final.
Yeah. So it's we're in uncharted territory here, and we really don't know what's gonna.
I think sometimes one thing though, I think, and I do agree with this, is that like if you lose a semi-final or final, if it's in the summer, you've got 5-6 weeks of thinking about it. It's a good thing for mentally, that if you do lose, you're straight back in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that might be a better thing.
Remember Saka when he came back from the Euros? He weren't the same.
No, it took him a few weeks
to. So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. Do those players get a little holiday before?
You've got the players that are not going are getting 10 days off, aren't they?
No, but the players that are gone.
Well, they must get something. Must have a couple of days, surely.
But they're straight back.
Yeah.
You're straight back, it finishes on the 18th of December. The next week we got West Ham.
Yeah, so there's no holiday really, is it? Maybe a couple of days off.
Unless you go, I guess if you go out of the tournament early, go straight on holiday, I guess.
Maybe have a couple of days.
Yeah.
But I think Arsenal are going to go to Dubai, and they say
Yeah.
they're close, so that the players in from the World Cup go straight to Dubai.
There, yeah. That's a smart move.
So give them a couple of days of luxury, and then like get back into it.
Really want to find out what you guys think, man. I mean, how do we negotiate next year? Have a look at the fixtures next year. Start having a look over those, and then you see that we need. And I'm not even mentioning, like Lee just said, the FA Cup, Europa League games that are going to come up. We don't know we're going to be in
and around that.
All that's going to be in and around that. We got a battle on our hands, and we need a bigger squad, I feel, to negotiate it. But what do you guys think? Come towards the end of the show today. Don't forget to play AFTV PICK10. Play along with me and Lee. See if you can beat us. Right, the link is in the description. Next week, you'll be revealing where I'm going to be going to take it. Well, where we're going to be going to dinner with me paying for it. Right. Right. And you'll be able to see that next week. So make sure you check that out. But yeah, the link's in the description. Thanks for watching the show today, Lee.
Pleasure. Enjoy.
We'll be both up there at Wolves.
Yes.
Looking forward to that game. And if we
Saturday night,
7:45 kickoff UK time. If we can win that, I'm going to be enjoying the World Cup. The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.